NXT, 1 week before we do Great American Bash, week 1 or night 1 maybe. I don't know. I don't know which one they're going to do. If you see my nose run, I'm sorry. Allergies up again. I got to tell you this. When you look at this show, it's good. It's not that bad. They got some stuff done. Briggs and Jensen are done. A little bit of setup for a Thea Hale with Roxanne Perez. They did something with Ethan Page and All Mensa, which is very good to see. I'm glad to see it. They got a few matches done, more than what SmackDown usually do. What do we get? We get like 2 matches for the women that were mostly lengthy, which is good, not a problem. And then we got the 6-man tag at the end, which I have, well, you see from the title, they showed his weakness. You'll find out in a few minutes, but let's go through this first. Alright. Cedric Alexander and a Shanti Adonis. They're on NXT right now. You would hope maybe it can do something with them both. Cedric, they have not done anything with him in years. Years, not since the Hurt Business. And Shanti Adonis, forget it. Hit Row was totally waste. Without Swerve, there is no Hit Row. It makes no sense. So, seeing that he stuck around for so long with B-Fab and staying on the main roster, I'm shocked he stayed. Or, better yet, he made a big mistake coming back. Or, better yet, signing a long, lengthy contract. It counted on which type of contract he signed. Did he sign an extension to the contract? Did he sign a very long, lengthy contract? I'm going to be honest here. Shanti Adonis should not be in WWE. He should be gone. I don't hate him. He's not doing anything. Cedric, same thing. He should be gone. He's not doing anything. Now, if they want this, more power to him. I'm not going to say they don't deserve to have a steady income where if everything goes well, they don't put so much wear and tear in the body. That's on them. But when you see 2 guys brought into NXT and you think they should be allowed to build up into something slowly before they start jobbing the people, this ain't it. I'm sorry. The opening with pretty much with Trick, I can understand the build-up for Trick to get back to his title. It has to be that way. Like I said, he went from here, he's down at the bottom of the card, he's got to work his way up. And it's understandable he's got to have someone to go up against. It's understandable that he's going to have problems before he can go up against anyone. And that's a great thing because you need that. It's for his development. And make sure that Trick Williams can understand when he gets to the main roster eventually. They're going to put him here maybe, counting if he goes to the IC and US. I don't know if they ever make him a world champion or not. But if he gets to the IC and US, they're going to drop him down and then bring him back up again through several different storylines and feuds and whatever. He needs this. So I'm fine with it. Getting Shanti jacked in the face goes along with the story. And basically the story is this. Trick wanted some advice. Cedric gave it to him. But since Trick is so emotional, Cedric is constantly telling him, you need to stop being so emotional. I understand about you wanting to get your stuff back. I know you want your mess back, but you got to be calm. And Shanti trying to tell Cedric, stop. He ain't going to get nowhere. He doesn't listen. And I want his spot anyway. That's what we got from these 3 guys. Done pretty well. When you look at how all 3 of them talked, it was structured well. Trick was the main priority there. Cedric, basically the antagonist to a certain extent. And Ashanti was the true antagonist, even though Cedric was somewhat. Now, first match. Briggs and Jensen. Let me give it to you like this. We thought maybe Jensen may go to TNA. Nope. Didn't go. All of that mess, touting and messing on X has led us to no TNA appearance. Nothing. Unless it happened and I missed it, you can tell me if I missed it. But as far as I can tell, he didn't show up for shit. So we only get this build-up of him basically hitting rock bottom, messing like, well, I'm going to go to TNA, but never really does, starts causing trouble on the NXT roster. Briggs vouches for him to try and keep him from losing his job. He gets out of control. He loses his cool. He causes trouble. Now we get this match of a no DQ, which wasn't bad. Shawn Spears now becoming the inspiration or the mentor of a Briggs Jensen. That's all right. That's not so bad. Only question is how far they're going to go with Jensen. That's the biggest question. How far they're going to go with him. Because you can do this for a couple of weeks and then drop him, and that's just going to be a waste of time. It's got to mean relevance. It's not about how long the thing is going to be, but if it's relevant, even if it's short, does that make people think, hey, Jensen is something? Yeah, he didn't last very long in the storyline, but I'm still thinking about him. That's what you want. He won because of Spears. There you go. Now, here's a match that I don't understand, unless I missed where the story is. You got Alexis King versus Eddie Thorpe. Now, let me give it to you. I like Eddie. He's not that bad. I'm not going to tell you that he's got a lot of character, because he doesn't. He just doesn't have a lot of character. He's still very much like he was when he first came in. Yes, he's a DJ. Yes, he's Native American. And he goes by Native American culture. He doesn't flaunt it like crazy like Tatanka did or Chief Jay Strongbow. He doesn't. He's different. So I had to come with terms for myself because I truly believe he needed more. They focus way too much about his ring work. And without character, ring work will only get you so far. And this is what people don't understand. Even Bryan Danielson eventually has to do more than just ring work to get over. That's how he got the yes movement working. It wasn't about the damn work he did in the ring, no matter what anybody says. But, oh, my eye hurts. Sorry. My allergies is messing with me. It's making my eyes itch and twitch. And it sucks. But, when it comes to Eddie, he does have some level of character. It's not a lot. And I'm not going to tell you that he's going to win you over because he's not. It took a while for me just to accept him as he is, let alone to think he could actually get over. And in this situation versus a Alexis King, he won his match and got his ass whooped afterward. But what does this really mean for Eddie Thorpe or for Lexis King for that matter? Lexis King, I'm not saying he's ready for the main roster yet. I think he'll probably go by next year. That's what I think. Particularly, they have no room for him. They got a huge amount of people on the main roster they're barely doing anything with. So, for me, I think he'll probably end up on the main roster maybe next year. Eddie Thorpe, I don't know if they'll ever bring him up to the main roster. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. I just don't know. But does this really mean they're both going to gain something by working together? I don't know. Seeing him smash Eddie Thorpe's, right hand with his cane, I don't know if it's going to really mean much. It's going to depend how much Eddie's going to sell the hand and how they're going to focus on the story from there. But that's just me. Alright. Mensa from Metaphor versus Ashanti Adonis. Here's the thing, like I said in the very beginning of this show. When you move someone from one brand to another, you hope that the powers that be, pretty much Triple H, would decide to at least give them some time to build up into a possible new persona, or at least make their old one feel more relevant. And when you see Shawn Michaels, he's not that much different. He will give people a certain amount of time to rebuild themselves. But I do believe sometimes he's told, no, we want this. Remember, Shawn does what he's told. Shawn is going to do what he's told. If he says, we want his ass a job, we're going to make him job. And that's what we got with Shanti Adonis versus Mensa. It wasn't a bad match, but this wasn't about getting Shanti Adonis over. It wasn't. It was about getting Mensa over, which it did. And this is trying to build up to him dealing with Ethan Page. Now, of course, Adonis did manage to get a couple of honeys as he's walking away going, oh, my back, oh. And they basically, you need help? He says, yeah, I'm all right. Oh, that's what they call that Slick Rick years ago. Basically, that's Slick Rick. He knows how to get the honeys. Give it to you like this. The question's going to be, for Shanti Adonis, is that all he's going to have? Or could they do what they used to do with The Godfather? He's got 2 honeys at this moment he's walking with. Would they repackage him as a Godfather type of character? With Ashanti, it could actually work. But the question will be, will they do it? Next. Let me give it to you like this. I'm going to tell you this. We just went through 3 matches I just spoke about. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4 more matches. I'm not going to talk about all the matches. The main reason I'm not going to talk about them, well, 3 matches, because I did, no. I didn't talk about all 4 of them. I'm just going to briefly say how I feel about them, but I'm not going to talk about them, what they could lead to. Let me give it like this. When it comes to No Quarter Catch Crew, I don't know where they're going with them. And seeing that Sinclair is blackmailing Dempsey, who just ended up on Slammiversary after... I want to say this. Seeing their match on Thursday was stupid. Quarter Catch Crew versus the Rascals and Kushida was the most stupidest thing they could have done. Because I'd rather have seen Wesley with the Rascals on Slammiversary and make it special. And they chose not to do it. It felt stupid. So Quarter Catch Crew, at this point, now being blackmailed by Sinclair, is interesting. Seeing that Charlie Dempsey still wants to get the Heritage Cup back. And the Don is interested in seeing how he has to deal with something kind of like a mini Don himself. He's not like the Don. He's like mini Don with his little group. And he's finding it amusing. It's different, but I don't know if it's going to lead anywhere for Charlie Dempsey. Because the Quarter Catch Crew really isn't going to get anywhere. It's got to be about Dempsey who gets somewhere, and the Quarter Catch Crew basically goes there with him. So, there you go. I'm not going to talk who won. Now, let me give it to you like this. Trick Williams versus Cedric Alexander. Good match. I didn't expect Alexander to win. I just could not see him win. If Shanti Adonis wasn't going to win against Mensa, I did not expect him to win here, and that is Cedric Alexander. Cedric has never gotten anywhere, and I just don't see him getting anywhere. They wanted to put over Trick, and that's what they did. And then you have him after he wins, he gets his butt kicked by Pete Dunne. And now that's his next challenge. Pete Dunne is basically, I don't care, I'm just going to beat someone's ass. And that shows the weakness of when you have someone that jumps from one brand to another, because Sheamus should be Pete Dunne's real focus. But Pete Dunne is going after Trick for no reason other than to fight him. And it doesn't make sense. But for Trick, it does at the same time, because they got to give him the next challenge before he goes for Ethen, because Ethen is still dealing with Mensa. Which we saw later, Mensa attacking a Ethan Page, pretty much, because Ethan is angry because he got pinned last week, and essentially, he calls a ref out into the ring, says, was this a real match? He said no, and in the end, even though he got what he wanted, he didn't, because Mensa came out, knocked him on his ass, and the ref, the Ethen Screwjob. I think that might be the title of this video, because I was thinking about he's shown his weakness. The Ethen Screwjob might be the best one here, because the ref was in on it. The ref didn't have to do the 1, 2, 3, even though it wasn't a legitimate match. They just did that. That is the Ethen screw job. I think that is going to be the title. Ethen's my boy. I'm going to say it. He doesn't have to be a face. He's a heel. He's a natural prick. Unless you know him in real life, he's probably a great guy. But as a wrestler, he's better as a heel. He's a prick. That's what we want. Kind of like with Baron Corbin is a prick. So seeing this is great. Seeing that he's being screwed over is great. Seeing that the Montreal screw job has been accomplished on Ethan Page. Let's move on. All right. 6-man tag. Let's go through this. Well, actually, wait. Do I want to say anything about the tag match with the ladies? I'll give you this. They're setting up Last Legends and Miss Jackson to go up against the tag champs. Fine. Okay. But I'm going to be honest here. Do I feel anything from Miss Jackson? No. We rarely see her wrestle on NXT. She just wrestled, and I'm not saying she's sloppy at it, but she just didn't feel like she was legitimate because I have not seen her wrestle barely at all. Only thing she does is walk around Metaphor and suck on her sucker. This isn't about her ability to wrestle. This is about where her character is. And her character has been nothing but a manager. And a manager that don't do nothing but show some sexy curves, suck on a damn sucker, and that's it. And it just feels empty. Moving on. Now to the 6-man tag. And let me give it to you like this. The Rascals versus Axiom, Frazier, and Devon Evans. Did you see what I've been talking about? Did you see what I've been talking about when it comes to Devon Evans? You had not one high flyer. You had 5 high flyers. 2 of them from TNA. 1, 2, and 3 that are in NXT now. You put Devon Evans up against 5 experienced high flyers. Look what we got. Was he doing a bad job in the ring? No. But legitimately, his high flying was moot. Flat out. He was nothing compared to the others. And you know what he had to do to try and look good? He had to go to strength. Guys, I've heard people say Devon Evans is good. I heard it. But in this situation, you see exactly what I've been telling you all this time. Devon Evans is not better than the best high flyers they have. He's going to be the next Ricochet. That is obvious to me. But you can tell that Devon Evans is not better than Wentz. He's not better than Trey Miguel. He's not better than Axiom. He's not better than Frazier. And the most best high flyer there, Wes Lee, he is not better than him. In fact, Wes had to do a lot along with Wentz, along with Trey, and even working a little bit with Axiom and Frazier. They all had to slow down a bit when he was in there working with them to make it look at least decently good. Because when he wasn't involved, like that. When he was involved, now I know people are going to say, dude, he's a kid. He's still learning. Yes, he is. But I've more than heard people say that he is great. He is so good. Nope. This match proved that he's not even close to being ready. The question's going to be, and I was surprised to see that the Rascals won, but the problem I wonder and see, are they going to rush him to the main roster because now Ricochet is not there? Now, I'm sure someone's going to say, well, what happened if they call up Axiom or Frazier? They could do that. Maybe Wes Lee. Yeah, they could. But the way that they've been positioning a Devon, I'm trying not to be bad to the guy because it's not his fault. He's not a great high flyer. He's going to have to adapt to being something different. He either has to learn how to do character development or he has to learn how to do more grounded pro wrestling, like mat-based wrestling, to compensate when they have so many high flyers on the main roster. If he doesn't change up somehow, he's going to get lost in the shuffle. He's just going to be an average high flyer. I still believe that they could make him Ricochet. I do believe that because they're positioning him a lot with a lot of people. Look, he's worked with Trick. He's gone in high-profile positions multiple times. He was in a 6-man tag that had 2 people from TNA. They want him to get as much exposure, but also as much experience as possible. It's obvious. But honestly, as I see it, he needs more than what he's showing. Yes, he has time to grow. But if he doesn't go beyond just being a high flyer and just saying, bouncy, it's not enough. It's not. It's not about him bulking up and being a big guy. It's about what he can become more than just a standard high-flying wrestler. But this is just me. Peace.